Scholars tell us that the earliest feasts of the Church were Easter, Pentecost, and Epiphany. The Annunciation, original feast of the Incarnation, Christmas, and all the others came later. Originally, Epiphany celebrated several events in the life of Christ, including his birth, the adoration of the Magi, the hidden years of Jesus' youth, his baptism by John, and his first miracle at the wedding in Cana. What all those events have in common is that they were introductions of Jesus to the world. In the Western Church, Epiphany eventually developed into three feasts: Christmas, the Epiphany feast as we celebrate it today, and the baptism of the Lord. Each of them commemorates and celebrates some aspect of the manifestation or appearing of the Lord, his introduction to the world. While there's something to be said for the later development of three feasts from one, let's look at them together, seeing what unified message they might have for us today. First, the Christmas aspect, the manifestation of Jesus as one of us. We can get so caught up with Mary and Joseph, the baby, the manger, the angels, the shepherds, the wise men, and so on, that we can forget that the feast is not about birth so much as about a manifestation, the showing of God as one of us, born to live, grow, learn, love, die, and rise. Think about that. If we want to see God, we need not spend years doing spiritual calisthenics or wait until we die. God has come among us as one of us. If you wish to see God, look at Jesus, the manifestation of God among us. And not simply among us. The second aspect of this feast is the fact that Jesus is one of us for us. The wise men from the East who come to adore Jesus symbolize the wise men and women of all times and places who are invited to come to Jesus. In welcoming those worshippers from pagan lands, Christ shows that his coming is not limited to a particular time or place or even religion. He is here for us all, and the salvation he brings is meant for all, including even those who do not know him. The third aspect of the original Epiphany feast, now celebrated separately, is the baptism of the Lord, next Sunday's feast. When the Father proclaims, "This is my beloved Son," it is obviously a manifestation of Jesus as the Christ, the Messiah. But there's more to the Lord's baptism than that proclamation. His baptism marks the end of his hidden years and the beginning of Jesus' public ministry. The Lord is among us and for us with a purpose. That purpose is the proclamation to all the world of the love of God. That love is the reason for the Incarnation, and Jesus shows that love to us in his teaching, his healing, and above all, in his cross. In our own baptism, we are united with Christ, so what we say about him is, in some way, something we say about ourselves. What does looking at the three aspects of Epiphany teach us about our own vocation as Christians? The Christmas aspect certainly applies to me. After all, I am a born and bred human being, as was Jesus. But it's not so simple as that. I too often try to avoid the implications of being human. I pile up goods, run after fads, and give myself over to idols of wealth, status, nation, culture, and even religion to hide from myself the fact that I am weak, mortal. I allow myself to forget that real human life is lived in community with others, a community of shared love and concern. Like Jesus, I must manifest the presence of God who is love. And my showing that love of God must not be limited. It's easy to love those whom I like, those similar to myself. But the wise men were not like Jesus. They were foreigners. They were pagans. Our own community must be as open to the world, accepting those children of our Father who are different from us, whether in race, nation, gender, sexuality, religion, politics, or physical or mental abilities and disabilities. Finally, we must, like Jesus, accept that vocation to manifest God to the world. We must make that a part of our lives, shaping who we are and what we do. When we do that, we become an epiphany, an introduction of God and the world.